Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Philippe Depallens, Vice President of Ultimate Ears Pro. Thank you for joining us, Philippe.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I got some press materials in front of me here that says the past, headphones, the future, in-ear monitors. And you've been in the business of creating in-ear monitors that are used by some widely known artists for years now. Give us a little background about Ultimate Ears.
I'd be happy to do this. So Ultimate Ears was actually founded in 1995. And as opposed to many companies that are founded in a garage, ours was actually founded in the back of a tour bus. As a matter of fact, it's a pretty sad day for Ultimate Ears because it was founded by the sound engineer that was doing all the monitoring engineering and sound engineering for Van Halen. You probably have heard, unfortunately, the passing of Eddie yesterday. Yes. And so Van Halen was actually the first customer of Ultimate Ears. And Jerry was actually working with the drummer, in this case Alex, who was having a lot of issues with his earrings. And what the sound engineer had to do is create a product to help him deal with the fact that a drum is extremely loud and potentially can create ear damage, which was his case. He had tinnitus. And an in-ear monitor is essentially a monitor that you bring inside your ear, and that monitor allows you to hear yourself and the rest of the band. What makes Ultimate Ears and our in-ear monitors very special is the fact that they are custom made. They are handcrafted based on the exact shape of your ear. And as you insert those devices inside your ear, they fit you perfectly. They fit you like a glove. And that allows you to hear yourself very clearly, to hear the rest of the band very clearly, but also shield you from the noise that you have around you on the stage. And so over the years, Ultimate Ears became very, very good at making those in-ear monitors. And we continuously innovated around making this product better. And Logitech acquired Ultimate Ears in 2008 and made it part of his portfolio of companies.
Wonderful. And the innovations have continued. Tell us about some of your latest.
Yeah, so one of the key aspects of getting an in-ear monitor is actually the journey that you have to go through to make that device. So, as opposed to many products, even at Logitech, where you go to a store, you buy it from the peg, you go home and you enjoy the product, or you buy it online and you receive it a couple of days later. In our case, you have to, as a first step, get an impression of your ear. An impression is basically an imprint of your ear. So the good old way of doing this would be to go to an audiologist, somebody that usually takes imprint for hearing aids. So you would go to that place. That audiologist would insert some goo inside your ear. That silicone material would solidify over 5-10 minutes, would give you an exact imprint of that ear. That imprint would be shipped to our factory in Irvine, and then it would be manufactured based on that imprint. So you can imagine that from a journey standpoint, it would take a while, it takes an effort. You have to go to some kind of doctor, and then it takes a while for the product to be shipped to us. So one of the first major innovations that we did is we worked on with a company, that makes a digital scanner, and that digital scanner would be able to take a digital imprint of your ear, look at it just like a little hummingbird with a series of lasers that can go inside your ear and get a scan of the inside of your ear and the outer ear. And within minutes, that device would be able to send us an imprint of that ear. So we would be able to start the manufacturing process immediately. The beauty of that scanner also is it did not necessarily require for an audiologist or for a person to be certified audiologist. My sales team, our dealers around the world were able to use that scanner and were able to take imprint of the ear in a much easier way. So that's one of the major innovations that we applied to this industry. The other one, since we had now digital impression, we were the first company to actually use 3D printing of that material that we put inside your ear, the acrylic. And the 3D printing allowed us to have much higher precision and much more quality in terms of the creation of the product, because now you end up with a custom device that is actually printed by an industrial device.
That's terrific. And does that also shorten the time for manufacturing these custom-made in-ear monitors?
Yes, it definitely shortens. So you no longer have to rely on the post office to go from the taking of the impression to starting the process for us. So it could take, sometimes 5 to 10 days, depending on where you are in the world. And also in terms of manufacturing, it allows us to digitize the entire process and therefore be a lot more efficient for every one of the steps, because there's a lot less hand-holding of physical parts, if you will. Everything starts to become more digitally organized.
And we should tell the audience that Ultimate Ears has lots of consumer products out there as well, not just designed for professionals. You've got, I think, a new wireless earphone line, UE Fits, that we'll be talking about in a future episode, I think, as well. So you've got plenty for everyday consumers.
Absolutely. I was going to say our drive is to continuously innovate, to bring the technologies that was initially reserved to some of the top touring musicians, to bring it down in terms of price, bring it down in terms of complexity to acquire the technology, so more and more users can take full advantage of all the experience that we've had building in-ear monitors over the last 25 years.
And today, with so many people performing online, and performing at home, creating at home, there's a growing market for what you create here. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so what COVID has done is it has sort of paused what's happening in the music industry from a touring standpoint. But of course, the musicians were not just going to sit at home and wait for COVID to disappear to continue to be able to do what they do best, which is compose music, record music, and play the music. So our ear monitors have allowed musicians that are now confined at home to rehearse their music, to compose their music, but also to record it and then play it live, but no longer live at a very specific venue, but live from the comfort of their home or live from a place that is a sheltered-in place type of place. And so the interesting piece as well as a very big differentiation for Logitech now, being the mother company of Ultimate Ears, we have had the ability to combine our different products to help these musicians perform from home. We were able to sell them in-ear monitors, but also a Blue microphone, which is also part of Logitech, and a webcam camera. And so now the new stage, the new virtual stage, is actually a combination of digital devices that are all connecting to a computer and using the internet to connect to that audience.
Terrific, and we love those other products as well. So tell me, what are the advantages in using in-ear monitors over the traditional headphones?
So there are many, and I would say the number one is the fact that an in-ear monitor is actually inside your ear. It's custom fitted and therefore protects you from the noise that is around you. It acts as an earplug. So as a musician, if you think about your career, if you think about longevity in your career, protecting one of the most important instruments that you have on your body, which is your ears, is crucial. So number one, an ear monitor will actually protect your ear if you use it properly. The second advantage of an ear monitor, because now you have that monitor inside your ear and nothing else around you can disturb this because you're isolated, it allows you to hear everything super clearly. You can hear your personal voice or your guitar or your drum, depending on what you're playing, but also it allows you to now be in full control of the volume that's being piped into your ear. If you think about a regular monitor that is on stage, that speaker that is in front of you, this is not in your control. Somebody else is controlling that. And if the musician next to you happens to put their monitor extremely loud, you may not hear yourself anymore. And on top of that, you're damaging your ear. Now with an ear monitor, you have full control of what gets piped into your ear, but also of the loudness of it. The next big thing, which is also a huge advantage from an ear monitor, is you connect it to a wireless pack. Now you no longer have to stand in front of a sweet spot, that sweet spot in front of the monitor. You can roam around the stage and continuously hear yourself perfectly because the sweet spot is always in the middle of your head. The last piece, which is probably something that not everybody realizes, if you are a vocalist, if you sing, it also will have the ability to, over time, protect your vocal cord. Because in general, people that are straining their vocal cords are usually trying to overpower, trying to sing louder than they can hear themselves. And unfortunately, they strain their vocal cords. When you hear yourself very clearly and you hear yourself perfectly inside your ear, you are more likely to sing at the right level and therefore protect your vocal cord.
Where does pricing begin?
So the pricing starts at $4.99 for our product, and this is for a product that will have 2 drivers per ears, and then goes all the way up to $2,000. And these are the products that have multiple speakers, multiple drivers in every one of the ears. And having multiple drivers in each of those ears allows us to carve a sound signature with much higher precision. Because what we can do with each of those drivers is dedicate very specific part of the frequency range per driver. So if you think about yourself, if you were to do everything yourself, it would be hard to be good at every one of the tasks that you have. But if you start to have a team around you where you start to distribute the task, that team can specialize itself in each of these tasks. In our in-ear monitors, we have exactly the same approach. Every one of our driver has a very specific task, whether it's focusing on the low, the mids, the highs, and it can be designed and also crafted in a way where it's the best at doing the lows and not have to worry playing the highs. And vice versa, a driver that has to play the highs doesn't have to worry about moving a lot of air to generate those bass, and therefore can be designed for playing super crisp, clear highs. So I would say the art and the science that we have developed at Ultimate Ears is putting all these different drivers adjacent to each other, if you will, and crafting this beautiful sound signature. So the price range is, of course, defined by the amount of drivers that you have inside that ear.
And I know you work closely with some very well-known artists as well.
We are, and our artists are the best marketing that we have, right? And so what we focus a lot with these top artists is to make sure that we serve them perfectly throughout the journey. So it's not just creating the right product, it's designing the right product for that specific artist, but as well as the artists are going on tour, if they need more more products, if they need cables, all that stuff, is how well do we serve this customer along that journey? And that has been one of the key drivers that we have applied for the last several years is continuously being there and present for our customers, because as they're performing on stage, if the product has any type of issues, in some ways, we're preventing them to earn a living. So it is super crucial that we are always there with our service, with our ability to take care of our customers.
Wonderful. For more information, where can folks go?
So folks go to custom.ultimateears.com, and there you will see the 2 major range of products that we have. One more specifically for the consumer, which is essentially leveraging all the know-how that we have from our pro line and bringing it down more to the consumer level. And then you can also see our full lineup of custom in-ear monitors, specifically designed for musicians, whether you are recording, you're mastering, you're performing, or just enjoying music. We have the full range of product.
Wonderful. Philippe Depallens, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio, and that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.